you're for the first time in your life getting an excess of that from people you do not know.
Nah, yeah, exactly.
How does that weigh on the mind, and how do you actually handle that?
I always say that you're not a human being if it doesn't affect you in some way.
Yeah,
Like,
it has to.
Your ego loves it. You get all this attention from so many people that think they know you, but they don't really know you. And part of you's like, oh, how good's this? This feels like what famous people must feel like. And you're the flavour of the month for about 3 months post a show, and then no one cares. Everyone's on to the next show. But it's those 3 months are wild. You get people stopping you in the street. It's like, yeah, your ego loves it. And you, as I said earlier, the version I was then, I look back and I hate it. I was very egotistical.
Yeah.
And like, we've all got an ego. It pops up every now and then. But I'd like to think I've evolved into a person now where I'm more in control of it.
It sounds like you had a true sense of belonging in your childhood.
Yeah.
How does that then make you feel about going into the world of reality TV? And what is the, we spoke about it this morning, but I'll let you explain it for the listeners and viewers, the motivation behind that experience, because it is so left of center for you.
Yeah. Yeah, so the story with the whole reality thing was I'd just gone through a bad breakup. I was a bit down in the dumps. My housemates at the time were like, hey, why don't you apply for this? And I was just like, you know what, why not? We all sat down together, did the application together, didn't hear anything of it for like 2 months, got a random call. We want you to do an audition. I'd never auditioned for anything in my life. That whole world was so foreign to me. Just went along, didn't know how to act, didn't know what to do really, just acted myself. And then obviously one thing led to another, got chosen to be on it. And I always look back and work, and there's a why to everything you do. Why? What's the reason you're doing it? And my why for doing reality TV was just to do it for the experience.
Yeah.
Try something completely left field. It's not for the faint-hearted. No matter who you are as a person, you're going to go through ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's going to be positives and negatives. Looking back, I grew a lot as a person, but then also looking back, the person I turned into post the shows, I look back now and I'm like, I hate that version of myself. Yeah. But that's all it was. That was just a version of who I am and the evolution of who I am now.
Yeah,
and
which I love. We spoke about that this morning a lot, didn't we?
And I'm going to change again. Like through more experiences through life, I'll change again and I'll evolve into an even different person. But yeah, the whole experience is something I look back on and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Not many people get to do that and get thrown into that environment. It's an environment like there's nothing like in the world today. It's like everything's magnified. You're just in this bubble and it was an experience and that's all it was. It was just an experience. It doesn't define who I am then or now. All it was is an experience.
So we'll dive into this a bit, right? Because I find it really unique. So reality TV the word reality doesn't hold that much weight in that setting, right?
Yeah.
Giving even another example, I was watching a real estate-based show the other day. Former real estate agent myself, bit of a passion for more so architecture than the art of real estate and property and the way it looks and feels and, just really interested. My partner Soph and I are sitting down watching this show, and on this show a celebrity comes on looking to buy a house. In the end they don't. They decide to go on tour, and I'm like, I'm 99.9% sure that they were never interested in buying a house, but that was in there to enhance the script, to enhance the imagery, to draw people to TV for that couple of weeks. It's a part of the script. It's a part of the writing play. Yeah. You look at the show like you went on The Bachelorette. What season was it? I can't even remember.
It was Ali Oetjen was the girl, but I don't know what number season it was.
So, we're talking years ago now. And everything about that is entertainment, right? So it's got to get bums on the lounge in front of the TV, and that TV model is people need to be sitting down at 7:30 at night to watch the show.
Yeah.
Or the show's not successful.
That's it.
And I remember watching at the time, because at the time Netflix was sort of newish, and TV still held some weight. And I actually said to you this morning, your reputation on the show wasn't great. It didn't come across as fantastic. I remember sitting thinking, I don't know if I like this bloke.
Yeah, that's it.
But this morning, completely different story when we're actually connecting on who we are.
Yeah.
And that human nature of real connection. It's a completely different story.
Yeah.
Your reputation wasn't great after the show. And, you said you were a plumber before the show. You lived a very normal life.
Yeah.
Coming out, and then 5 months later, the show's aired. Talk to me about the feelings and the emotions of watching yourself on air and going, that's not me on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough period to finish the filming, go back home, when I got out of the whole bubble, I was away for 2.5 months. No phone, no outside distractions, no outside noise. And when I got home, there was probably a week there where I'd wake up and I wouldn't know what to do, because I was so used to someone telling me when I had to be ready, what I had to wear, when I could eat, all those things. And the transition from that bubble into just living normal took probably a week to transition back. And then there's that interim of 5 months where you're thinking about what was filmed and the hours of footage they got and what character you're going to be portrayed. And then we don't get a preview of what it's going to be like. We watch it with everyone else, and you go through an array of emotions.
I bet.
And every night there was an episode, I'd stay up till probably 2 a.m. because I'd get adrenaline. I get adrenaline running through my body of anxiety, excitement, nerves, all of those emotions whilst watching it. And now, as it was going, I was quite aware that they have to have the same characters every season.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's always a consistency.
It's a script. They've done it that many times. The production company. It's down to they know exactly what they're doing. There's so much that goes into getting what they need to get for the show and creating the characters they need to create, that they're so good at it. And it's you got to say the words and whatever, but it's highly produced. So it's not, people always ask me, is it scripted? No, it's not scripted. It's highly produced. Highly produced means that they tell you the topic they want you to talk about, that you can use your own words, but they want you to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
So it's not actually scripted, but it's, someone has to be the bad guy, don't they?
For sure.
Yeah.
And unfortunately.
Happened to be me. Yeah.
So when you're experiencing that, so you're for the first time in your life, especially because we spoke about it this morning. Some people would go on the show to grow an Instagram following. You only started an Instagram just before the show.
Yeah.
So it was just like a year before the show. So you didn't really have
it was 6 months. I
connection
started
for socials.
Yeah. I started my Instagram 2018 in January, and by July I was off doing TV. Yeah.
So the funny thing there is, for the first time in your life, you're getting this excess of dopamine, and even sometimes not even dopamine, but negativity, I can imagine, throughout the course of this show, where for the first time in your life, it's not just your immediate people who are giving you feedback on your personality, your behavior, whether it be validation, whether it be negativity and things to reflect on. You're, for the first time in your life, getting an excess of that from people you do not know.
Yeah, exactly.
How does that weigh on the mind, and how do you actually handle that?
I always say that you're not a human being if it doesn't affect you in some way.
Yeah, it has to.
Your ego loves it. You get all this attention from so many people that think they know you, but they don't really know you, and part of you's like, oh, how good's this? This is like, feels like what famous people must feel like. And you're the flavour of the month for about 3 months post a show, and then no one cares. Everyone's on to the next show. But it's those 3 months are wild. You get people stopping you in the street. It's like, your ego loves it. And you, as I said earlier, the version I was then, I look back and I hate it. I was very egotistical. Yeah. And like we've all got an ego. It pops up every now and then, but I'd like to think I've evolved into a person now where I'm more in control of it.